Hi guys, it's Marcy Fiorillo, and today we're going to work through Chapter 4 in your Photoshop text called Layer Basics. In this lesson, you're going to organize artwork on layers, create, view, hide, and select layers, rearrange layers by dragging the stacking order of the artwork, apply blending modes to layers, resize and rotate layers, apply a gradient to a layer, apply a filter to a layer, apply text and layer effects to a layer, add an adjustment layer, and then save a copy of the file with the layers flattened. So you've worked through the chapter and you've gotten to about this point, which is right before you create the clouds for your artwork. And I wanted to show you how to do this because it is actually a pretty cool thing you can do. So you have your file to this point. This is using a filter to create artwork. So what we're going to do is we're going to add a layer above the background, and we're going to rename it and call it clouds. This is an empty layer, it doesn't have anything on it as of yet, as you can see in the preview button here, the thumbnail. And what we're going to do is we're going to go over to our toolbox and we're going to change our color swatches here by clicking on it, and we're wanting a sort of a sky blue, so I'm going to pick in the lighter blue. You can also adjust it to the colors that the text is giving you, but I'm going to pick my own because I like picking my own. Once you have your colors chosen, we are going to go up to our top layer here, and we want to choose filter, go all the way down and choose render and clouds. And look at that, magically clouds appear behind our pineapple here in the clouds layer. The next thing I'm going to show you how to do is to apply a gradient to a layer. Now in this case the layer just happens to be text, so we want to make sure our Hawaii text is showing. And a quick way to select all of the pixels in this layer is to put your cursor over the thumbnail layer and choose control click or right click if you're on a PC and you want to select pixels. And now you can see that all the pixels that are on this layer, which happens to just be the word Hawaii, are selected. And the next thing we're going to do is apply a gradient to that text or to that layer. So we want to find our gradient tool. Well, the gradient tool is actually hidden underneath the paint bucket, and once you have that selected, what it's going to do is it's going to do a gradient between your two swatches here. So let's say we want it to be orange like the book suggests, or what about green? You just select the color that you want to choose. Now it's going to do a gradient from the first click to the last click. So you can do it either any which way you want. You can go diagonally up and down. You can have it be short or you can have it be long. It all depends on your clicking and dragging here. So we're going to click and drag a line that will be our gradient. So you can see I didn't draw it very far, so that's where the gradient stops. If I want it to go across this way, I can do it that way. I can go from top to bottom and go the whole way. I can do just a little bit and it'll just do a little bit. So it really depends on how you click and drag this gradient tool. And then you can select, deselect, and see what you did there. The last thing I'm going to cover today is how to apply a layer style to a layer. Now this should seem very familiar because we've already done this in Illustrator, and similar techniques apply. So first of all, I want to have the layer selected that I want to apply this layer style to, and then up on my top menu I'm going to choose layer and layer style, and you can see all of my choices are here. We're going to use a drop shadow. And remember, we always want the preview box checked so that we can see what we're doing as we're doing it. We want the blend mode to be multiply, opacity to be 75%, the angle to be 78 degrees, and then we're going to adjust some of these other things. We want the distance to be 5 pixels, the spread to be 30%. Remember, you can drag the sliders and see what's happening on your screen, or you can type in the numbers here. And the pixels here to be 10 on size. And you can see it gives us a nice crisp shadow behind that text that really pops that out. Click OK, and your layer effects are indicated underneath here on your layer. The last thing you want to do is flatten your image into a JPEG that you can submit. Sometimes I will ask you for the full Photoshop file with all the layers so I can see exactly what you did, and sometimes you will want just the JPEG, for example, to share on the share forums. So the way we're going to do that is, first of all, save your work as you have done up to this point, and then we're going to go under Image, Duplicate, and we're going to give this file a different name so it doesn't copy over anything, and choose OK. So now we have a duplicate file. So see, here's my working file still, and then here's my duplicate, which still has the layers, but we're going to get rid of that. So you want to go up to Layer and then go all the way down to the bottom and do Flatten Image. And what this does is it squishes all those layers down into one layer, and therefore the pixels now that were underneath this flower saved on your layers in file are now gone, and it's replaced by just the flower. So this is a way to save space and also to get a JPEG, but you want to make sure you still have a working copy with all the layers in case you want to go back and edit something. And then you can just save this onto your desktop, and this would be the file that you would upload to the share forum.